This week I leave Quebec as I travel northeast up along the Gaspesie Peninsula, over the mountain and into New Brunswick.
In Rimouski, Quebec, and I just visited this house. This is an old house that was built in the 1630s, and it's unique in its architecture due to this vertical planking. And this is something that would be seen often in Normandy region of France. It was brought over here to Quebec, and it was extremely found to be a rather poor way to insulate a house. You see in the white sections, that is a mortar which is covering vertical stacked rocks going in between the wooden frames. The rocks themselves act as a thermal conductor, and they bring all of the outside temperature into the house. If it is warm outside, then it's going to be warm in the house, and if it is cool outside, it's going to be rather cool in the house. Here in Quebec, they have some pretty strong winters, and it was a very poor way to insulate a house. The house was inhabited until 1920, when it was turned into a barn, and it was rediscovered in 1970 when they stripped off 3 layers of outer planking to discover this older style of construction. This is one of only 3 houses remaining within Quebec that are built in this style. Interestingly, this was also brought back to Louisiana after the War of 1812, when some Quebecers were kicked out and sent down to the southern US, and this style does work out well in the southern portion of the US.
You can see the bent spoke, that's no good, and the bike upside down is also no good, and me not being able to pick up the spoke, no good. I broke a spoke going up a hill as soon as I left Rimouski and was stuck on the side of the road. Not much traffic in the middle of northeastern Quebec. Struggled to get the spoke to fit. That's probably because I got the wrong size spoke. It wasn't meant to be. So I hitched an awkward ride. A very awkward ride.
Enchanté, oui, enchanté, André. Oui, enchanté. No parle français.
I should stop now.
This could be a tour just of bike shops around Quebec. Today I was going along and I heard a pop, and all along the back tire. It's good. Spoke. No spoke. And then the one that I've been carrying, I put it in the tube of my bike, is actually too short.
As my bike had been finished up, we moved on to another cyclist who rolled into the shop at the same time. His name is Jacques, and it felt really awkward seeing someone else's bike being worked on. I felt jealous. We left together and coasted our way up into the Gaspesie region. The towns were very gorgeous, and we enjoyed seeing the many lighthouses that dotted the shore.
You think we don't? Yes. What?
The big debate was how we were going to get up on top of it.
How do we get to the other side?
The park ranger had said it was possible to bike, and we immediately started to doubt.
Yeah, Monson. Fuck. And a strong part of hubris to get the bike to the tip of the Gaspesie Peninsula. My new friend Jacques and I have found a new way to bike tour. For the action cam! They're the mechanics.
Our mechanics met up with us later on in the day. Unbeknownst to us, they decided to tour and ensure that our bikes were functioning. We were pretty pleased and we decided to take a selfie on the road, but as we didn't have a camera, we set the GoPro up and just went with it. Everybody held the pose for a movie. Moving forward, we coasted on through and into Gaspesie. I took a day off in Gaspesie and brought my bike up a giant hill to the town of Patterson. And Patterson is towards the very tip of the Gaspesie Peninsula. It is a member of the most beautiful villages of Quebec and mainly a tourist location with two large attractions, which you will see in a moment. One is going to be off the left-hand side, and that is the Patterson Rock, and the other is Bonaventure Island, sneaking up on the top right. Patterson was named by Samuel Champlain in 1603 and named the area Isla Patterson, meaning Pierced Island. During the 17th century, the place was used primarily as a stopover for ships traveling to and from Quebec. Going down this hill, I set one of my new records at 77 kilometers an hour.
Wow!
Making it into the bay, we decided to go visit the rock, Patterson Rock. And this is a gigantic limestone arch, one of the largest sea arches in the world. It stands at 49 feet or 15 meters high on the southern end, and it should disappear in the next 16,000 years, as it will slowly be erased. On the top lives a colony of birds, and on the bottom live many tourists trying to find the way.
I made it to, what do you call it? Le Rocher Percé?
What?
And we're now in this cruise boat's, all of their pictures. What?
What's coming in?
Ah.
I went off into the harbor and was able to find Bonaventure Island. Bonaventure Island is known for being one of 3 main breeding sites for this, the northern gannet. See what type of behaviors you can identify. The northern gannet will return to the same nesting site year to year. Both partners help to build the nest using algae, feathers, and grass. When an adult returns to the nest, it usually places itself directly in front of its partner, and both birds will extend their necks and cry, rubbing their bills together, slightly opening their wings. Apparently, this behavior reinforces the ties that bind the couple and also helps to soothe the aggressive behavior of the birds. To protect its territory, the northern gannet often threatens its neighbors, and it leads to frequent quarrels accompanied by the cries, "Kara, kara." Before taking off, the gannet raises its bill skyward for a few seconds and fills the air cells located in its neck to absorb the shock of the cry. Taking a deep breath, it will also release air. When mating, the male will, well, we don't need to talk about this. The northern gannet proclaims the property rights by adopting a very unusual vertical position. Extending its neck and breasts, it will bend forward and weave from side to side. At the same time, slightly opens and closes its wings when dipping its bill against its breast. To feed itself, the young will eat on the partially regurgitated fish that is the principal diet of the species.
I am getting pretty damn good at repairing the bike. I just trued the wheel again. This is becoming a almost hourly obsession of mine, but what we're looking for is the distance here to be roughly the same all the way around the rim of the tire, and I'm cheating. I have attached a zip tie, and so about every 2 hours or so I stop and I have to true the wheel because it's that out of wonk with the spokes. Needless to say, I'm getting pretty good at it. The first time I did this, it took about 40 minutes to an hour, and now I just wrapped it up in about 10 minutes. And that's pretty darn impressive because every time I do this, I forget if I spin the spoke that way, do I tighten it, or this way, do I tighten it? And so every time I have to restart it because I do it the wrong way. But yeah, it's going quite well. I am in this town here. I'll show you because I can't say it. And I'm going this way towards Bonaventure. That way.
Moving along, I made it to my next host, who was gracious enough to let me bathe in the stream, as there was no running water within the house. It was quite a refreshing bath. The next day, I once again had bike issues and had to hitch a ride as I was out of flats, but I got a ride with this guy, and he was very nice enough to bring me on the camper trailer to a bike shop. Or was he? What if he was just trying to take me into the woods to take my bike? He doesn't know what problems it has. Either way, it's an adventure on the open road.
In today's episode of What Do I Do in the Rain? It's bathe. It's been a solid 3-4 days since I've taken a shower, and the last time I did, I bathed in a river. So I'm taking full advantage of this opportunity.
As always, you can follow me on social media and on the website at crittistales.com. Tune in again next week when I make it through New Brunswick and into Prince Edward Island in search of my own Anne of Green Gables.